Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of identifying functions. This is standard 8.5G in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 3 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we need to find this graph that does not represent y as a function of x. And if we don't know what this word function means, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because it's a vocabulary word that basically dictates what we need to do on this problem because there's no calculation here. We're just identifying the function. Okay, so a function, let's make sure we ground it on that, is a relationship. It describes the relationship between variables. Okay, so we're going to see our variables here graphed for us, x and y, where, and here's the key, each input has exactly one output. That is kind of our qualifier here. So each input has exactly one output. Now, when we're talking input and output, what we're talking about here are the independent variables and then the dependent variables. And to be more specific, since we're graphing it here, right, we're talking about our independent variables 99 times out of 100 are going to be your x values, and your dependent variables 99 times out of 100 are going to be your y values. So let's do some mapping here. So I'm just going to do A, I'm just going to do x, and I'm just going to do y, right? And we'll just do some mapping. So look at my x's here, right? So I've got like a -3 maps to a negative 2y. So I'm looking at this one right here, right? A -1 maps to a -1 right here. I've got a 1 mapping to a 0. But take a look at this. See that right there? That's a problem. Because when I'm mapping it like this, right? If we're doing like the mapping that has like the ovals, what we're not going to do is we're not going to write 1 again. We've already written 1 over on the x, on the independent variable side. So I would just write a 2 right here, and I would draw a second arrow. That is going to be a no-no. So that tells me that is most likely not our function. Unless we're missing something, we need to check B, C, and D first. And then let's just map the rest, right? So 5 goes to 2. Now, this is fine. So let's make a distinction. The fact that I've got these two both going to 2 is fine because 1 can go to 2 and 5 go to 2. The problem here, because each of those are going to their own unique functions, the problem here is that 1, I'll put that in magenta, goes to 2 different ones. So that's where the issue is. So I can have 1 and 5 both go to 2. That's fine. But what I can't have is 1 go to 0 and then 1 go to 2. This is not okay. And if we wanted to finish that one, right, we could have a 7 maps to a 3. So A is a problem simply because of this right here. And honestly, you notice this, we can use what we call the vertical line test. And if you can draw a vertical line and it only touches one part of the graph, that means it's a function. So C works. D is a quadratic, but it works, right? We're using discrete data here. It's just not lines, it's just actual points. And then we can use vertical lines here. We're not touching. All right, so B, C, and D all work. So our answer is A.